We learned nothing there yesterday, Matt. Absolutely nothing. Don't be getting carried away by these lads.
There has to be 100% a rule change.
I seen you.
Shush!
He's an absolute monster, and I'd say he's a Gold Cup horse.
Boom! We're here! Oh yes, everyone. Welcome back. Unbridled Season 2 with my expert guest, Mr. Paddy Brennan. Hello, Paddy.
Hello, Matt.
Okay, I was hoping you'd be a bit more enthusiastic. Sometimes I have to do this when I do chats in boxes. With my expert guest, Mr. Paddy Brennan.
Good to be back.
Oh, God, literally nothing has changed, has it? And myself, Matt Chapman, a pleasure to be back. Paddy, we are still backed by At the Races, which, fair play to those in command for having another go.
Yeah.
And BOYLESPORTS are with us again as well. I mean, you can only imagine that no one else wanted us and there wasn't another sponsor, but pleased to be back. How are you?
I'm very well. Feels like a while now, but it's great to be back.
Yeah. Always, a lot of people say, like, you know, oh, Chepstow, oh, it's like Christmas has come early, the jump season's back. And then they say the same for Cheltenham. But the only thing before Christmas that feels like Christmas is Season 2 of Unbridled, isn't it? I mean, come on.
I hope so. There's a lot of people that have been asking about it, and
Are they?
it's anyone that tunes in. Look, we do our best. This show, Matt's a bit different. We say it how it is, and sometimes we get it right, and sometimes we get it wrong. But we'll.
Well, funnily enough, because if there is someone who got it catastrophically wrong last year, of course, it was you. Although technically this year, I suppose, but last series, you know what I mean. We're going to talk about the horse, and for those watching on YouTube, you will know that I have come here dressed as Constitution Hill, of course. We will talk about him later in depth. But since our last series, of course, we did have a one-off special where we had a lovely meal with Micheal Buckley, Nicky Henderson, the outstanding Nico de Boinville, who showed once again what a class act he is in and out of the saddle, which you paid for, finally.
Yeah, it was.
Did you really pay for it?
I did. It was a lovely evening.
Did you?
Lovely to meet. I paid for it.
Okay.
It was lovely to meet Nicky and Mr. Buckley to me. And as I say, Nico de Boinville wasn't invited, rocked on like he owned the place.
Just the fact that you're now calling him Nico, though, means you two are a bit pally, aren't you? Because it never used to be like that.
Well, it could get a bit more back to Chastel later in the show, but we'll start with Nico. But it was, Matt, look, in racing you see people at the races and it's hello, goodbye. You don't get to know anyone, do you, really? And when you sit down around a table with these people for an hour or more, drink a glass of red wine, it was a lovely evening, and I couldn't have been more impressed with everyone.
Yeah. I mean, you say you don't really get to know one, but everyone I meet always calls me a it's like they've known me all my life.
Yeah, but you're at the races a lot more than most, and you get personal interviews with Nicky and Micheal Buckley. I've never seen that side of them, and many people in racing haven't. At the end of the day, Matt, it's just normal people doing, you know, Nicky's been training for 40 something years, incredible, and to be able to sit down and listen to stories about the Queen and Sprint to Sacra, and yeah, it was fascinating stuff.
But that's like a life lesson, isn't it? Unless you actually get to know someone, whatever you see on a TV screen or whatever you think about someone, until you actually know someone, you don't know what they're doing. No one in racing knows what I do when I'm not on air, for instance. Like no, there isn't a single person. Well,
there is, because you do most people's heads in. But Nicky Henderson.
Why?
Nicky Henderson.
Why have you started already?
27 years ago I came to England, Matt. I rode for Nicky Henderson on several occasions. I say several, more than 5 times anyway. And I didn't get to know him on any of them occasions. It was just, Nicky, what do you want me to do? Handy. And you ring him after, thanks for the ride. And be lovely to ride for you again. And that is as much as I've really had to do with Nicky Henderson. But it was absolute pleasure sitting there and, as I say, listening to him.
You are in a really good spot at the moment. You've got your own show and the Paddy Brennan Racing Club. The fact that you've come in today trimmed, because usually you're a mess, but you've people can't see this again on Spotify and other places that they can listen to this show. But you are trim, you are looking $1 million. you must have $1 million because the Paddy Brennan Racing Club is absolutely flying, isn't it?
It's been good fun. To think I have $1 million is definitely not true, but in any walk of life, Matt, no matter how you're feeling or what's going on, you always paint the shop window, make sure the door is spotless, and whatever's going on inside, you keep it looking that before you open the door, it's pretty good.
And it's a huge week for your club. Friday, Ascot, St. Johnnet. Everyone dreams of that one horse that could propel them into the really big time. And St. Johnnet could be that horse for you, couldn't it?
Yeah, St. Johnnet is a bit different, Matt. I ride him a lot of his work. And I thought he was a bit different just from early stages. But look, he was a very impressive winner at Worcester under a beautiful ride from Toby McCain, and he missed an engagement at Cheltenham on Sunday, but I just didn't feel he was ready to be going around and slogging ground with his whole career ahead of him. So he runs at Ascot on Friday, and we're really looking forward to it.
Do you want to hear what Sam Twiston-Davies thinks about this horse?
Well, he's not ridden him very much, but you can go ahead.
Okay, so here we go. This is what I spoke to Sam at Lingfield. This is what he had to say. Sam, really want to pile some pressure on Paddy with St. Johnnet coming up on Friday. First of all, is potentially the best bumper horse you have ever sat on?
Won a champion bumper, Ballyandy, so it's quite a big stall,
but potentially
definitely this season.
Yeah, and just tell me about Paddy, because obviously he was mad as a rider, as a owner and a syndicate member. Does he come across all nice afterwards, but then ring you up later and say, "What the hell were you doing?"
I haven't actually ridden for him yet, so I don't know. Toby McCain Micheal won on St. J at Worcester, so I'll let you know.
Okay, just tell me something bad about Paddy. Just tell me something. He must do something that irritates. I need something on this.
Slow at tacking up. I had to help the last two
lazy
Tuesdays. No, not lazy, just slow in between.
Right.
He's very good though. He likes to take him for a pick of grass. So funny enough, the last couple of weeks have helped him tack his second lot up. But slow in between. Pull out on time.
Do you think Friday? I think he'll be really nervous because he knows this could be a proper horse, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think it shows that when the minute all that rain came at Cheltenham, and Paddy loves Cheltenham, the minute then he wasn't happy to go there, and obviously wait for Ascot this week. I think the nerves will be high.
He does love Cheltenham, but don't mention Q Card.
No, Ascot. He's got good memories of Q Card and Ascot, mind.
Yeah, but he ditched it at Cheltenham, didn't he? Put it on the ground. No. Would have won. Act up.
We'll see.
Thank you, Sam. So that was Sam the other day. But that wasn't all. Because after that conversation, Sam tapped me on the shoulder. Guess what he said?
Go ahead.
He said, Paddy keeps sort of almost being like a priest-like character with me. He says he keeps saying, "Come here, you," he said, in your accent. Actually, can you say, "Come here, you"?
Oi, here now.
Yeah, that's it. Oi, here and now. This is what I want you to say next. You're trying too hard.
No, I said you're scared to lose.
You're scared to lose. Yeah.
And I said you're driving a car like it's automatic. A lot of these jockeys, Matt, they need to go back and buy a manual car. You've got 5 gears. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. You don't go first to third, Matt. You definitely don't go from second to fifth. So my advice to some young jockeys now, back into that car garage and buy a manual car.
When the seagulls follow the trawler, it is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea.
That was one of the greatest moments in sport.
Do you see yourself as a sort of Eric Cantona kind of character these days? Are you going to come up with more and more of these philosophical sayings? And I don't think anyone saw you as philosophical, Brennan.
No, but Matt, when you've worked for people over the years, so many of them spring to mind where you walk past them, trainers especially, and you know they're thinking something, but they don't have the balls to say it. So if I have an issue with a lad, Harry Skelton I text a lot, and he always grateful for it. He always has a nice reply, and there's a couple other lads. But if you're a trainer, or if you're an owner, or if you're anyone and you're not happy with a situation, talk. You don't need to be typing on this X or whatever it's called and trying to be a hero. Just pull the lad to one side and say what you have to think. As I say, rode for a few trainers over the years. Some of them were big, and they didn't always have the balls to tell me what I was doing wrong. So I wouldn't let that happen to anyone.
They'd be there all day, wouldn't they, if they were trying to tell you what you were doing wrong. Yeah, I think Sam was a little bit upset. You need to go and put an arm around him. I think he thought it was a little bit over the top. Jack Hyde ran okay at Cheltenham on the Friday.
Very pleased with Jack Hyde.
In the dark?
In the dark. It was raining all day, but it could do whatever weather it wanted. Cheltenham is the best place, and I mean the best place in the world to be. Paddy Power weekend was fantastic. Met some amazing people, but we had a brilliant day. We finished second, and Jack Hyde did what he always does, and that's, give us a brilliant day out, and he ran a blinder. So we are thinking maybe now straight to the Imperial Cup. A long time away, but we'll wait.
Now, where is Jack Hyde right now?
In my stable.
Why?
Because he's having a break.
Why? He's in
because he's had 4 tough runs, Matt, and there's no race from in December, probably January. We just got to be sensible, and I'd like to take my syndicate maybe to Punchestown next year, so that's what we're thinking.
Okay. Let's have a look, or at least talk about 1 or 2 stars that have been out. Before we get into detail, you can have Lulamba, Final Demand and Kopek de Bordes all join the Paddy Brennan Racing Club. Which one is your number 1 target? Don't talk about them. Which one's your number 1 target?
Final Demand.
Which is number 2 target?
Kopek de Bordes.
Who? Kopek de Bordes.
Yeah, what did I just say?
Something similar. And 3?
Lulamba. But I'd have 2 or 3 ahead of him if they were there.
Okay, so let's start with Lulamba, who you clearly did not like.
No, I like Lulamba. Look, for anyone, he's a beautiful horse and he has everything, but I've been more impressed with others, and I'll still be more impressed with others than I was with Lulamba. There's a lot of squeezing going on through the race. Tripoli Flyer was making the run in, jumped the first in the straight, he's pulled it up, he's out, and Lulamba takes it up. But to that point, there's plenty of bottom leg work going on with Nico, and when you see that, Matt, maybe over further, but I don't see him as a Sergino or any of them unbelievable horses. I don't see him right up there just yet.
I mean, Nico, when he uses that leg, though, is strong, though, isn't he? He's got great grip.
Yeah, but I can see he's using it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first things first. When we're talking about this race, let's put some reality in this. Salva, who is 3rd, is the best horse Gary Moore has in his yard. The best horse. Now, Salva will prefer much deeper ground and a longer trip. No one denies that. But he was obliterated. Fingal Bridge is held in high regard by Ollie Murphy. Was never going for much of the race, but stayed on well. Presumably he needs further as well. It was a pretty good race, is what I'm trying to say. And Lulamba hacked up. Yeah,
it was a deep race, but like you've mentioned the 3rd Gary Moore's horse, one soft, heavy ground. Fingal Bridge for me was probably the horse to take out of the race. He reminds me of a horse called Captain Chris. I'm not sure if you remember him.
Yeah, I do.
Very unlucky in a King George.
Hobbsy.
That's where I think Fingal Bridge. Maybe in a King George one day if he's lucky enough to stay safe and sound. It was a hell of a race. Tripoli Flyer back and forth. He's no mug either. But at the same time, Matt, Lulamba was more in his favour than any other horse in the race, and he was very good on the day.
I mean, he's 4. He's only 4. And is it just that it wouldn't matter what Nicky and Nico produced?
I told you so.
You would hate it, whatever. You've got a thing, haven't you? You've got a thing.
Absolutely not.
You've got a thing.
No.
You have. Admit it. You've got a chip on your shoulder. You don't like them.
Well, I have a chip on my shoulder, but it ain't about him. Now drive on.
Why don't you like them?
I do like him.
You don't. You don't. At our dinner, you were rude to Nico. I had to.
Yeah, I have you right. He shouldn't have been there.
I almost had to have a word, to be honest. I felt you were rude.
Poor Nico.
Right. Okay. Let's get on to Kopek de Bordes. Yeah. Now, the most interesting part of this whole race was Paul Townend's head. Now, I don't know if you watched this, but if you didn't, this is because you're not good at analysis. Go back and watch all the jockeys on their horses. I have to do this for the benefit of YouTube. Like that. Paul Townend on his horse, head going like that. He was pulling his arms out. He was having to go like that, just like, it's going so fast. I didn't like that. Horse did not settle, but he didn't do much wrong, did he?
Look, he was very impressive, and
so you like Willie Mullins then?
I've got to get Paul Townend name right this year, but
I quite liked it when you got it wrong. It's more fun when you get things wrong.
He's riding these monsters of horses, and he's making it look as easy as anyone else could make it. I think he's poetry to watch, especially on them. But if you notice him down over the last two where the horses, he has their heads up, Matt. He's not. They're leaning on him, but he's keeping that head up, because if the head goes down and they're keen, then they're into the bottom of the fence and they could be on the floor. No, he jumped a lot better than I was expecting. When I watched him over Hurley, like kick one out of the ground and he could take one with him, I was just so impressed how he took the fences. But you go on about, parts of the race, but it's just from halfway between the second and the last inch of rain, on he goes, takes off. Man, he's not beating mugs, he's beating proper horses, and it was a hell of a performance.
Okay. Did you not keep Q-Card's head up?
He kept his own head up, but different type of horse. Anyway, we're enough talking about Q-Card.
No, we could never have enough talking about Q-Card. That was a terrible day for the sport. Final Demand. Was he horse racing perfection on a novice chase debut?
Matt, Final Demand was awesome. He's a hell of a horse. And when you're lucky enough to have ridden good horses over the years, like Q-Card, Ashley Brook, to name a couple, them horses would be 20 lengths clear. You look around, you're like, how am I here? How have you just done that? They wouldn't give you that feel. Final Demand reminds me of Imperial Commander. Every stride you're feeling like that wow factor. That's how he looks to me. He's given them everything, and he's an absolute monster, and I'd say he's a Gold Cup horse.
I thought he was more Denman-esque than Imperial Commander, and I know you'll say, well, Imperial Commander beat Denman.
Yeah, no, but you're talking about the greats. There's
no, but what I'm saying is, I think he's relentless.
Yeah.
He just goes off at a pace. It doesn't matter whether it's 2 miles really or 3 miles.
Yeah.
And Denman had pace, more pace I think than people gave him credit for. I just thought he was relentless, and maybe he will enjoy a bit of dig in the ground always. He's quite a sort of barrelly type.
Maybe. But it was poetry to watch. And Matt, when you have a horse like that and he's not getting anywhere near even the middle of the tank, let alone emptying the tank, barring accidents, he's got a long hell of a career ahead of him.
When you look at the anti-post betting for the Cheltenham Festival as far as Final Demand is concerned, there is nothing in the anti-post betting already that you could say, well, that could beat Final Demand. There is nothing. He's currently 6-4. Now, some of our boosts from our sponsors the last series might have made people chuckle a little bit. This is an interesting one, because at face value people will say, well, forget about that. So BOYLESPORTS will boost Final Demand only up to 20 quid, but most people bet in that region anyway, to 2-1. He's top price 6-4 anyway. You can't get bigger than 6-4. Now, at face value people go, well, I don't want to back a 2-1 shot for March. But if Final Demand, say, wins 2 more races before March, he will be 1-2 or possibly even 1-3 for his race, I reckon. Yeah. I reckon he'll be that short. So if you want to take advantage of that boost, I actually don't think... Look, obviously he could get injured. That's the nature of the beast. But 2 times your money on Final Demand. The simple fact is this, Paddy. I don't think he'll be there if he gets beaten again or he turns into a useless horse. So if he turns up in his race at Cheltenham on the day, he's long odds on, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's long odds on.
No, I do agree on that, and that is something we do agree with. But is there non-runner no bet this early? I'm not sure. Is
no,
it? No,
so that's not with the boost.
You got to get there, and but yeah, I could see him
2-1. Right, I want to talk about John Bon.
Finished.
Do I dare ask you why John Bon got beat?
I'd say it's going to be hard for John Bon, Matt.
Why?
Because
never been out of the 2 in all his life, and you think it's hard?
Well, he'd have been out of the 2 Saturday if JJ Slevin didn't work Americans.
Was he out of the 2?
No.
So what are you bollocking about? He'd been out of the 2. He wasn't.
When we spoke about Final Demand, I said to you, the middle of the tank isn't even getting touched. The bottom of John Bon's tank has been touched a lot. It's going to be a long season for John Bon.
Okay, first things first, John Bon's getting quite old. He's not ancient by any manner of means, but he is getting old. He'll be 10 next year. He's 9 now. Yeah, that's correct, isn't it? I don't want to get that bit wrong. Am I right?
I never questioned his
Okay,
age.
I'm going to check it while I'm speaking to
you never asked me.
Because you know when you say
age.
something and you think, I know that, and then you think, oh, Christ, I better say that. Just check that he's not 15. Yeah, he's 9 now. Of course I'm right. I don't know why do I check my facts? I don't know. Stupid. You should always check. So he's 9 going on 10. So at 9, I think you could definitely say prime. At 10, I think you can say, okay, could be losing a couple of pounds. There's no medical or historical scientific reason for that, but we kind of know that's the way it happens. But I just think he's a horse that, for all that he's brilliant on occasions, he's not quite so brilliant on others, and this is nothing new with him. He has to be ridden in a certain way. It looks like he needs daylight, and Harry Skelton knew that, and he went up his arse to try and make him take on the leader, Matata. I just think Harry Skelton I think Harry Skelton killed John Bon.
Yeah. Look, I think that's a bit extreme.
No, I don't think so.
I think John
But
Bon.
obviously he's not dead. I don't want to give the wrong impression.
I think John Bon's he's cycling a little bit uphill from what I can see. 9, like you said, 9 going into 10. But Matt, look, he's had a busy time. I just don't think he's going to be as good this year
He
and
hasn't
next
had a
year.
busy time. What do you mean he's had a busy time?
He's had a busy career.
No, he hasn't.
Well, he's had some hard races.
He's had 24 races in 9 years.
Yeah, he's had some hard ones.
So you're only going to, run Saint-Genet 3 times in his whole life?
Probably.
I mean, if we're thinking horses who've had 24 races...
But Matt, when you can have a horse run 50 times that doesn't try, he's given his heart and soul into every time he runs. There's a difference. If you were a horse, I'd say you'd have ran plenty now. Next, come on.
Okay, Pat, so that was John Bon. I wasn't working at Cheltenham, but I popped up there for a couple of days on the Friday and Saturday, and I was lucky enough to bump into Harry Skelton, and he was walking around like he was God. Like, it was fascinating watching a guy on a high. Like, he was walking around like, hey, I'm Harry Skelton, unbeatable. And he rode like that as well. And there was one ride, particularly on Soldier Reeves, who won the maiden hurdle. But it was actually something that Skelton did on Soldier Reeves in his previous start that you wanted to talk about. Tell me what you wanted to say.
Yeah, we've got it on video here. If you just watch Harry on Soldier Reeves from the very start, especially you keyboard warriors out there, I'm trying to educate you lads. Before you type, watch this. So Harry jumps off at the back, Soldier Reeves, bumper, to me it's the most important step for a horse's career. He's dropped in, and as we get to this point here, he was basically fly-lepping with him for 4 strides. He had to stay back where he was. He couldn't go forward any sooner in a bumper or else you're not finishing. So of course when he gets into the position where he is going forward, it's a bit late and he doesn't get there, and there was a lot of stick for Harry for this ride. But you got to understand, lads, and everyone, people, in bumpers, it's about their whole careers. It doesn't matter what price they are, and it really doesn't matter. It's about the horse, and Harry thought of the horse here, and that's why he won at Cheltenham.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very fine line. For those of you who are just listening on Spotify, basically, Soldier Reeves was just held up out the back, and he came through quite strongly, wasn't good enough. The in-running comments don't always help. And I noticed the in-running comment that day was plenty to do over 1 furlong on, ran on well inside final furlong, Eyecatcher, which he was. You couldn't argue with it. But of course, it slightly stirs the pot because you just read that and it looks as though given too much to do, doesn't it?
It does. But if you're a punter and you look at a skeleton horse in a bumper, it's going to take its time. So there's going to be risk before you put the money on. You've got to understand all that, man, and take it into account. You can't just go, oh, that's a 6-4 favourite. Stand Skeletons, I'm going to back and it's going to win. It is not as simple as that. We would all be millionaires if it was. So that's the reason. There's a lot of people giving Harry stick for that ride. It wasn't about that day. It was about the whole horse's career. And I thought it was unbelievable at Cheltenham. Hit the line hard and he could be anything.
I have to say, I think Harry Skelton, obviously Bowen's getting all the headlines, quite rightly, he's fantastic. But Harry Skelton, I absolutely love the way he rides. I love it. I love action-packed. He's learned now to drop one in as well. Probably a bit too much on that occasion for some, not you, Paddy. You think it was brilliant. That's fine. That's your opinion. But I think he's absolutely mustard. I love this. Do you like the old Skeller plane?
My children do. I personally wouldn't be a big fan, but
that's because you wouldn't have had the skill to do that.
No, I absolutely wouldn't. I would have fell off. But at the same time, Matt, if it's bringing attention to horse racing, brilliant. And the young kids and the people coming into racing, they love it. So Harry can do that what he wants.
Do you call it the Skellercopter? What do you call it?
It was a bird or a seagull or something, but someone made a good
What
point.
is it about you and Cantona?
If he did it in the Welsh National, you know what I mean? He might stumble and be doing a bird into the ground. So look, it's good. It is good, and very best of luck to him. And regarding Harry has walked in to that way room many years ago. He's grown in experience, and he's got himself to the very top, Matt. Very top. He's gone out in them big races, and you got to remember he was competing with Ruby Walters, Barry Gerties, AP Mackay, Richard Johnson. I can keep going on. Davy Russell. He was competing against him. He had that experience that a lot of them lads now didn't have, and that's why you're seeing him at the very, very top.
Yeah. The three riders, I think, who absolutely have so much confidence. Obviously, Bowen, who's just a machine, and fabulous family. There's no words you can say against Sean Byrne. Nothing. Skelton, I think, is more open to criticism because he's got more character. So in some ways, he's more flamboyant than Sean. Absolutely love him. And Cobden, who is more of a sort of. He's kind of. I'm trying to think how because he doesn't really go for the numbers, Harry. I don't think he's not interested. I don't think in riding 7 a day with 3 20-to-1 shots or whatever. But he walks around. He's got a certain demeanour, a proper walk about him that makes you feel he thinks he's God.
But Matt, I'm going to tell you now, right? There's, to me, only 2 jockeys in the UK riding as if their jobs aren't on the line. As if they aren't walking out to the parade ring that this could be their last ride. For this trainer, owner, you name it. The 2 jockeys are Harry Skelton, just 2. Don't know how many jockeys are in the UK. Sean Bowen. Them 2 are riding free as birds. They can make decisions. When I was riding for Nigel Twiston Davis, I could do whatever I want, and if I got beat his short head, he'd say, right, next one. Simple, next one. And he would deal with the owner. Matt, the game's so tough right now. A lot of trainers are down in numbers. There's a few trainers up in numbers, but there's a lot more down in numbers. Jockeys have never been under more pressure, and I take my heart off them. Being there, and the more I look back, it tortured my soul. What you have to put yourself through to keep people happy. That is why Harry Skelton, Sean Bowen are at the top of their tree, because they got 2 trainers that have got their back, and that means everything.
But they also have 2 trainers who are banging out more winners than everyone else.
Yeah, but of course they are, and they'll bang out more winners as long as you got that loyalty, Matt. We'll get to Dan Skelton in a minute, but Dan Skelton and Harry Skelton are going to go to the era, and I'm not going to say in weeks or months, I mean now, that Paul Nicholls and Ruby Walsh were at. And I remember going to them race meetings. Ruby on a Saturday, wherever he was winning. Sometimes 1, sometimes 5, Wincanton 6. They were winning everything. And Dan and Harry Skelton have got themselves there because they concentrate on their team. They're not worried about what Bill is doing over there or what John is doing over there. They're worried about their own team. And Matt,
Bill?
It's only going to get bigger and better.
Bill in there?
I'm trying to just give you names.
Who's Bill then?
Don't know, just thought of the name. But I was just basically saying how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to argue with what you've just said. You love the Skeltons. We know that. They probably give you discount on training and fees and all that kind of stuff for the club horses.
I don't know about that.
No, I bet they do. Dan is over $1 million clear of Willie Mullins, obviously, who hasn't really even got going in Ireland, let alone over here yet. He's 1-3 to be champion trader. Willie Mullins 2-1. Do you think this is the season of in Unbridled season 2? Is Dan Skelton going to be the champion trainer?
I think he is. Yeah. I think.
Did you say that last year?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I do think the Tingle Creek's going to be a hell of a race for that reason alone, Matt. That will probably be the starting point for Willie to attack this country again. And if he gets a big result there, he moves on to the King George. But Dan's in the driving seat. He's probably stopped for a coffee, and I'd say it's tasting fairly good.
Yeah. We're speaking about trainers. There was one trainer actually I wanted to give a call to today, and I'm going to do it right now, Pat. I've no idea. I haven't warned him, and he often has very bad reception. So I can't guarantee it's terrible time as well. We're recording this early in the morning.
Well, can you let us know who it is so we could?
Well, not yet, no, because just in case they don't answer, I don't want to embarrass myself. It's a terrible time. We're calling it 10 o'clock.
No, it's not.
Matt, how are you?
Master Trainer, how are you?
I'm very good, Matt. Thank you. I'm fine.
I'm here with Paddy Brennan. We're live on the Unbridled podcast, season 2. Obviously, we're back for a second season, breaking. Well, everyone's very surprised about that. As I rang you, I said to Paddy, I said, "Geez," I said, "it's 10 o'clock, right on declaration time." Shall I ring you back, or are you right in it?
I've got another problem. I've just arrived at Newbury for a board meeting, but how long do you need me for?
About 2 minutes. 1 minute?
Yeah, or whenever, yeah. Do you want to do it now then?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
We're live, Hobbsy. Yeah.
Okay, then.
Okay, really, I just want to say the 2 words to you: sober glory.
Yeah. Well, he's in very, very good form, and the plan is to run him at Sandown in a fortnight. That used to be the Tolworth hurdle, but it's now a listed novice hurdle.
Yeah, because Tolworth's up at Aintree now, isn't it?
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
He's in very good form. Very happy with him.
Okay. Hobbsy, as you know, there's a group of us. I don't know how big, but I imagine it's huge. Who have been itching for Hobbsy to be back in the big time. Grade 1 winners going left, right, and centre. Is this the horse?
He could be. He's obviously very good. He could be, but we'll just have to see how the next couple of races progress.
Okay, that's enough for me. So we'll see him in a couple of weeks, and it's fabulous that you and Johnson getting on so well. Just in 20 seconds, Hobbsy, I'm going to chat with Paddy a little later in the show about Micheal Nolan. Is there any message you just want to put out there in case Micheal's sat somewhere listening to this?
Of course. I mean, we're all very sad that unfortunately just the things are getting underway that he's got injured. It will be all right, but it's just going to take a fair bit of time. And at the moment, his voice isn't great because they've, as they went into operate on the vertebrae, they just touch his vocal cords. But that should come back all right.
Okay, Master, we'll let you go into your board meeting. Can I ask you to make the first suggestion in the board meeting? There should be a statue of the master trainer at Newton Abbot.
I don't think that's necessary, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Hobbsy. Thanks for answering.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. One of the nicest people
I'd say the nicest.
One of the nicest. Right, you've got some... you've done some work. You've got a couple of Eyecatchers for me. Let's start with a horse of Ben Pauling, please. What can you tell me about Rock Sensation?
Rock Sensation, yeah. Noel Feely Racing Syndicate. I watched at Cheltenham in the Mayor's Bumper, and I thought Ben Jones gave her a lovely ride. Took his time, all about the future, and she hit the line very hard. She was probably one for me to take out of the race, and wherever they go, I imagine it'll be over hurls now. She'll be one to look forward to.
And you've got a second Eyecatcher for me, and look who trains it, Dan Skelton. You are such a groupie, aren't you? You really are. What about Precious Man?
Precious Man, again, Harry dropped in. Their first runner for John Delahaye, new owner in the yard. I thought did a lot wrong, and he's jumped like a French horse, Matt. He was catching the top of a lot of them, and I really thought he did a lot wrong and ran a hell of a race. They pulled a long way clear of the third. I imagine something like the Fred Winter would be the plan now, and he'd be one I'd be looking forward to seeing later in the season.
I've been lucky enough in the lead up to this show to do a Plumpton, a Fontwell, Lingfield, 3 jumps in a row. And there were so many horses in those. Like they're probably not going to be grade 1 horses, but so many horses that I thought, I can't wait to see those again. This is a fantastic game, Paddy.
Yeah, definitely.
It is a fantastic game, and it's if you're out there watching it every day, every race, not just the big meetings. There's so much to get stuck into. There really is.
But it's great time of year as well.
It's brilliant, and it's the complications with this game that make it beautiful. Now, in the jungle at the moment, there's Angry Ginge. Do you watch the jungle?
I do, yeah. My kids love it.
So as far as I'm aware, I've got to be honest, and this is not because I think I'm a million years old. I go to house music events as often as I can, but not that you have to be young to do that either, or old. But I've never heard of Angry Ginge in my life. Never heard of him. But apparently people watch him playing computer games.
Yeah, mainly children, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, but computer games are miles more complicated than horse racing.
Right.
But he has 2.2 million followers on Instagram.
How many have you got?
Not very many. Although, judging by the picture that I took of myself a little earlier on the show, I should have some more after today. But my point is, why are we always trying to tell everyone how simple horse racing is, when a guy who plays complicated computer games has 2.2 million people who think it's interesting?
But he could be very intelligent.
But this is my point. Like, people, why are we convinced that young people just want simplicity? Why?
I don't know.
Because everything tells you, you've got kids, I have, like, everything tells me about them that they like complication. They like tricky things. They like difficult things. They like working out puzzles. Like, so why do we tell everyone that horse racing is so simple, you don't need to do anything about it?
Yeah.
And yet, all of us who are of an age who have children love the complications. I just put that out there. Right, I was at Plumpton. Flaggate. I'd imagine this made you angry.
Well, I came in.
I was hoping it made you more angry than that.
I came in and you were, after coming on, because I just got in for my sandwiches, normally ham and cheese, cup of tea there at lunchtime. Anyway, they're coming down the hill at this stage and you're doing a voiceover, something's gone on. So I didn't know what had gone on, Matt, and I just switched it on so I couldn't wind back. Well, I seen it all after.
Right. You've not got Sky at home then? Usually you can just rewind.
Yeah, no, I'm on the old Sky.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, you should update. Okay, so basically, runners get let go, as we can see right now. Flags are being waved. Whistles are being blown. Now, if we're in truth here, and I don't think any of them will mind me saying this, I don't think a single one of the jockeys, including Patrick Mullins of all people, knew the rules. But a group took a gamble and carried on, and a group stopped. If you look at, say, carry on here, Patrick's in the orange in fourth.
He's struggling to pull up there, I'd say, Matt.
Well, you watch him at the top of the bend here. He's still having a conversation. Like, they're still talking about should we stop or carry on. But look, Patrick's looking around. He doesn't know the rules, does he? He doesn't know what to do. Otherwise, he'd be kicking on now and nicking 15 lengths. Because no one knows what to do. They've almost all stopped. But 3 or 4 of them make the decision to carry on. And the result stands. Now, at this point, I go running to the flag man, who is just on the left. You probably don't quite see him there. And ask him, and he was a lovely old bloke. I said, are you happy you've done everything right? He absolutely 100%, I've done everything right. He waved his flag, which was checkered, and he blew his whistle. So he did everything right. And luckily for us who were there on the day, everything we said actually was right, and it came to fruition. In the weighing room, the flags are absolutely clear. I put a picture of that up on social media above the scales where you weigh out the 2 flags with what they mean. However, the confusion here was the whistle. Now, I've never heard a whistle blown on a racecourse before. I've not been in that situation.
I have, Matt.
Okay, but I was thinking, what the hell's that? Everyone was thinking, what the hell that? But the real confusion comes here. The whistle is blown if you're missing an obstacle on a checkered flag, but the whistle is also blown if it's a stop race.
Yeah.
On the basis that if a jockey hasn't seen the flag, they hear the whistle. But if you haven't seen the flag, you don't know whether the whistle is for a stop race or a bypass an obstacle. So there has to be 100% a rule change.
Right.
You cannot have
No.
a whistle blown for each flag.
Well, no, you need
Impossible.
you need a whistle to
No.
you
No.
need a whistle to let us know there's something going on there, man. You go
No.
around with your head down. Anyway,
No,
let me
it's confusing.
Right, I've heard enough. Plumpton, I think I'd have pulled up. I think I would have pulled up, man. That is a fact. Right, you go on about these flags,
So
okay?
you would just hadn't read the
I
rules.
would have pulled up.
So you wouldn't have read the rules?
No.
So you
I
couldn't
would
be
have pulled
bothered
up.
to read them?
Let me speak. You're throwing these young kids under the bus that are bloody young amateurs going racing. I had no interest in what colour the flag was over the bloody lad that was doing the scales. I didn't care what colour they were. Blue, black, red. Pull up or go. Matt, blow the whistle. I go racing. I'd get a phone call from a trainer or an owner telling me I might not ride that horse on Saturday. Then my missus would tell me I needed to be back on a certain time to let the dog out. Now, I jumped out to ride in that race. My head was fried. It was up to here. I wasn't ready for any flag. So when the flag was out, the whistle was going, everyone's pulling up, I just pulled up. Being there, Weatherby, Tony Mackay was next to me. No name dropping there. So, you made a very good point after. When Cartmel had an issue that with a circuit to go, Matt, half of us would, I wasn't guilty of this, but a couple of lads would turn left and go down the middle of the track thinking it was the last circuit. They had a very, very simple way of addressing it. They put dolls along the gap. So when you came round, you thought, right, I can't go left, there's dolls there. Simple. Matt, you made a point after. You get a flag that says stop. You think your jockey's tick. Well, guess what? You don't go around at 35 mile an hour getting hopped off the ground every day to get abused if you're brainy. A flag that says stop. It's pretty simple. Now, them lads in Plumpton, Patrick Mullins, to me, is probably the greatest amateur that's ever. He was pulling up. And if you ring him up and he tells you he wasn't pulling up, I'm not sure I believe him. So it was a mistake. I feel for all the lads. Don't throw them kids under the bus. They made a simple mistake. In life, you're allowed to make a mistake. We all make mistakes.
I think you're slightly over-egging me throwing anyone under a bus here. I
No.
haven't given an opinion on any of that.
Okay, I'm just saying, in the whole rule, and they got 7 days, yeah, brilliant. They made a simple mistake, and I feel for the owners, the trainers that had to pay for that horse to go there. They're the ones that suffer as well. But this can be easily addressed, man. I wasn't very good in school. I promise you, I'm not that educated. I can read stop. Stop.
Okay, I want to just explore this a bit further. I don't want to put people to sleep. Obviously, that's not the aim. But if you blow a whistle for two things, it has to be confusing. So you either have a whistle for stop and some other sound for bypass, but you can't have the same thing for two things. That ends today.
But Matt,
It ends today. No. It ends today. The BHA should announce today that there'll only be a whistle for a stopped race. Now, if you don't hear the whistle, then you know you carry on.
Okay, but Matt, I never had an issue with the whistle because it would just make me put my head up. That's all I'm saying on that.
Yeah, but you can't have a whistle for two things.
Sometimes
it's confusing. If you can't see the flag, let's just say there was low sun that day. I'm not saying they couldn't see the flag, but let's just say they couldn't. You can't then have a whistle for two things. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to name any names here, but quite soon after that race, a jockey messaged me. I'm going to read out the message. The system flattened jumps is a joke, in all honesty. Why don't they have a flag that just says stop, which is what we've just discussed, has never made sense to me. They say the fluorescent flags are easier to spot until they spend some money, and there will always be mistakes and the jocks will get banned. Same thing at Windsor in the summer. I don't know necessarily all the rules for each code, but also the flag person at Plumpton should have been closer to the obstacle. He was too far away. I think actually there was an element of truth about that. It wasn't the flag person's fault. No blame to him at all.
No.
He did everything right, but he should be told to get closer to the obstacle. And the other thing, another message followed on the back of that. Steve Drown came out, and to be fair, he said, Steve Drown is good. Not his fault, this. It's always been wrong. It'll be the amateurs' fault entirely, but they should have different solutions for stopping a race. Need more flagmen at the very least, but need a proper system. Just out of interest, Paddy, because obviously the jocks have chosen these coloured flags because they think it's easier to see. But
I never chose it.
But the thing most people said on social media is, why can't it just be like traffic lights where we all, from the day of birth, understand that red is stop, green is go, and amber could be bypass? Yeah. Why can't it just... I know we've said stop, but why can't it just be like a traffic light?
I know. But just until you're in that situation, Matt, and that flag appears, you've got to understand what you've got a split second to make a decision. That whole field very nearly pulled up, and look, it was a mistake. But it can be addressed. Simple. Flag, stop. S-T-O-P. Stop.
And you know what? When the fun stop, what do? Stop. You can see we haven't rehearsed this show. Still, that would be like on Spotify, that will be like a televisual podcast pause of beauty. You know, that silence. Everyone's waiting for the answer. On YouTube, everyone would just realise you're stupid. Right. Newbury Gallops. Hey! The tank is back. Now,
before they start, right? Oh, God. I ain't seen too much of this. I was told not to watch it.
Okay, here it is. So, in last, you know which one I am, because I'm dressed like it. In last place, look at it, tugging away at Nico. That is Constitution Hill. Now, Rob Hornby's in this group.
What's he doing?
Riding work.
Why?
Because he loves it. Although, there was a quote from Rob Hornby afterwards saying that his missus had to drag him out of bed to come and do this. And I was thinking...
He's a flat jockey. Why is he riding it?
Because he's superb at Newbury. I was thinking, if I was Rob Hornby's missus, I'd be kicking him out of bed. I wouldn't have to drag him out of bed. Like, the last thing I'd want is Rob Hornby sleeping next to me every night. I can't think of anything worse. But anyway, look at the tank. Look at him.
Is that Sergino in the middle?
Yeah. And it's Lulamba on the far side. Yeah.
I'll ask you again. What's that in the middle?
That's Lulamba. Yeah.
Matt, you're talking waffle now. Tell me what's in the middle.
Okay, it's Active Innocence.
Yeah, Active Innocence.
And Therapist.
You'd go by him and
what
say.
you need.
Yeah. And what are you learning here, Matt?
Remember, Rob Hornby weighs about 5 stone.
Right.
Nico weighs about 15.
And what did you see there, Matt?
I saw an absolute machine. Look at it. A thing of beauty.
You did.
This time last... This time last year, you said Constitution Hill would not win a Grade 1. He went to Kempton. He bolted up like the machine he is. You ended up doing a fortune. We should, at this point, remind viewers who haven't seen our fantastic mid-season episode that we have a new bet on. If Constitution Hill wins 2 Grade 1s this campaign, you will get a Paddy Brennan racehorse with Nicky Henderson to be ridden by Nico de Boinville.
Well, it ain't going to happen. On that performance, he ain't winning any Grade 1, Matt.
That's just wrong, isn't it? Why you come on,
Matt? I seen you yesterday, right, going around with this hat like you were Santa Claus doing a press conference.
No, I wasn't there actually.
That was at Lingfield.
Oh yeah, I was there.
I seen you ramping around, bigging up this Constitution Hill.
Yeah.
We learnt nothing there yesterday, Matt.
Yeah. Carry on.
We learnt nothing.
Right.
Absolutely nothing. Don't be getting carried away by these lads.
So you weren't impressed at all, no?
No.
Why? Well, I mean, why do you dislike Nico de Boinville so much that you just can't say
have a problem with him.
He's back?
No.
Why?
Not having a bar of it.
Well, I've got him on the line now, I think. Nico?
Morning.
Has started already, I'm afraid. It's just impossible. He doesn't like Lulamba. He doesn't like Constitution Hill. Look, you're very cagey. You don't give much away. You didn't give much away after Newbury. But was that as sexy a feeling as you've ever had between your legs?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, I was happy with it. I mean, it was more a sort of routine piece of work, but I was happy.
Yeah. And remember the weight you were carrying. Rob Hornby, weighs about 3 stone. You were giving lumps away.
Yeah, he's very light, isn't he? He's a very good jockey, and I thought he got the fractions absolutely spot on, old Rob.
Yeah, he's superb.
He sure did.
I was saying, I like the fact that his missus had to drag him out of the bed to go and ride and stuff recently. And I was just saying to Paddy that if I was Rob Hornby's missus, I couldn't wait to kick him out of bed, to be honest. Like, the last thing I'd want is him lying next to me.
I know, she's a great person to have on the yard on a Saturday, and Rob needs to get a move on, doesn't he? I mean, you know, she's a very nice girl, and yeah, all his friends are getting married, so you better get a move on, I think.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Charlie Bishop's just got married. There's a whole bunch that you thought that's never going to happen, and it seems to have happened. Obviously, Nico, you've been married for a long time now. But we got off on a slight tangent. Let's get back to the machine. So he has to now win 2 Grade 1s, and you then next season will be riding a horse for the Paddy Brennan Racing Syndicate.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? I don't think Paddy will be coming into ours as much as he does Nigel and Willie Twiston Davis, but that's probably a good thing, isn't it?
It is, and to be honest with you, it's not even the Twiston Davis or Fergal O'Brien anymore. He is an absolute skeleton groupie. Harry this, Harry that. Harry misses a ride and rides a bad race, and he tries to explain why it was a good ride. It's been sickening for the last hour, honestly. He must be getting some training fees off or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's great to see Paddy Syndicate's doing all right, isn't it, as well? So that's keeping him busy and out of his wife's hair as well.
Yeah, anything he keeps him away from the yards, I suppose, is good news for everyone. Just quickly, Lulamba, Paddy wasn't impressed with that either. Salva, terrific horse. Fingal, the horse, back in third. Very good, promising horse. Were you pretty happy with Lulamba?
Yeah, I was happy. I mean, it was a good starting point, and I liked how he quickened through the line as well. So, yeah, he's bound to come on for that run. So, yeah, it was a good start to his season.
Where are you off to as we're talking to you right now?
I am just crossing Port Talbot, so I am heading down to Fosslas.
Lovely.
Great.
And just because we got sent in a little video the other day, which I'm just going to play to the viewers right now.
Look at those trousers. Have you ever seen anything more Nico de Boinville in your life?
What? Can I just ask what you're wearing at this minute, like trouser-wise?
Yeah, don't forget you're on the phone, so I can't see.
Yeah, well, you're on this occasion you're wearing pale blue corduroys, which I've got to be honest, I didn't even know they produced those. Like, I know corduroys, obviously, but I've never seen a pale blue pair. But Tom Bellamy caught these the other day, and I mean, quite extraordinary on a racetrack. What have you got on today?
I've actually got the same cords on.
Have you?
Yeah.
What made you?
I think they're really trendy. I don't know why more people don't wear them. They're nice and warm as well.
Were they a Christmas gift?
No, I bought them myself.
Okay. Well, look.
Do you not have a pair of cords, no?
Not pale blue ones. No, actually, I don't have any. I have worn cords before, once or twice, but not pale blue. No. But it's very horse racing, isn't it? Like, it's a horsey thing to wear. You remember Charlie Mann always used to wear those bright red trousers? It's a horsey thing, isn't it? Like, people in horse racing wear things that no one in the real world would be seen dead in.
Well, I mean, God, you go into London, head up to Camden. I mean, God knows what some of that lot are wearing.
When do you go into Camden?
Well, just on my days off, you know.
Just to wander around Camden, yeah? Camden, I can just imagine you wandering around Camden Market on your day off. Right, we've gone into the realms of ridiculousness. I really just wanted to touch base because it just felt we couldn't get underway without hearing your voice.
Ascot, might you ride Le Francais on Saturday there, will you?
Yeah, are you riding Le Francais on Saturday?
Do you know what I really liked yesterday? It was Liam Harrison. He rode a really good winner yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, and
he gave such a good interview about how much he loves Paddy Brennan.
Hey, get you up there! Attaboy. Addison, I didn't actually see that.
I was nearly sick, I have to say.
Anyway. Right, can you ask him if he rides Le Francais?
I have. He ignored the question, didn't he? Are you riding Le Francais? Yes or no? Do not bullshit me on this.
No, I thought it was Harry Copton, wasn't it?
No, he rides Picadorry.
He's going to ride Picadorry, isn't he?
Rumour is it's you.
John Burke? John Burke's ridden him before?
Don't know.
Could it be you?
No.
Okay.
Why not? You're one of the best out there. But you're one of the best.
You might get the call up after this show.
Yeah. I've asked 2 or 3 people, and they've not answered me, which tells me that something iffy is going on. I know
nothing. So.
You know the owners, though.
Can you ask him if Lucky Speed's running a novice chase at Ascot?
Is Lucky Speed running in a novice chase at Ascot? Lucky Place.
Lucky Place.
Lucky Place.
Yeah, we don't have Lucky Speed, but we have a Lucky Place.
Yeah, that's
Lucky
what I
Place.
meant.
At the moment, yeah.
Good.
Well, he scored before last season, didn't he? And then he was so good over hurdles, you kept him hurting. Joking apart, Nico, without putting words in your mouth, he could be really proper, couldn't he? He could be an absolute machine.
Yeah, he's a nice horse. I guess we need to. The main thing is to get him out first time, see how he is over his fences, and then sort of work out his ideal trip.
Ow! Sorry, Paddy's just kicked me under the table and says he's had enough of you, so didn't need to do that to shut me up. Nico, safe journey. Be careful in those cords.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you for answering. It means a lot.
Thanks, Nico. Cheers. Thanks.
He's gone. It's got a lovely picture actually pops up when I speak to Nico. Right. I did actually ask a couple of people. So Ile France, we just don't know who rides this horse, do we? Johnny Burke's been putting James Reevely. I looked on the BHA website just now.
Yeah.
No one's jocked up on it since.
Right.
You'd think if Reevely was riding it, he'd have been up right from the get-go, wouldn't you? So do we think James Reevely's off it now?
Sometimes when they're coming over from France or Ireland, they don't get necessarily jocked up until declarations. Don't know.
It's a weird one, isn't it? What? There's never been any insinuation that James Reevely's done anything wrong on him, though, is there?
Well, I was quite surprised to see he left Noel George, to be honest, and I'm just not sure about Ascot. I'm not sure. I'd be really against him on this occasion. He's very short. I'd be taking him on personally, Matt. That'd be
With Pic Dory?
Yeah, Pic Dory.
See, you're not the first person, incidentally, who said to me Cobden's riding it, and I got that from. Someone messaged me from quite a strong source, and I said, well, that's impossible. He's not getting on Pic Dory.
Maybe Pic Dory is unlikely. We don't know, do we?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because there was a quote from Nichols. Shall we ring Nichols and just double check whether this Pic Dory is...
Yeah, get this out in the open.
Yeah,
he might not answer.
Because while everyone will have quotes... No, I think he will answer. Well, say that rather pompously, and obviously won't now. But it's interesting, because then Cobden does come into the mix. And... I can't guarantee. Hi, Paul. Sorry to disturb you. You're live on the Unbridled podcast. I've talked to you masses over the last few days, so I don't need to ask much. We're having a debate, yeah? So we're under the impression that James Reevely won't be on Ile France at Ascot. Now, Cobden has been put into the mix. Now, Cobden obviously would ride Pic Dory if he ran. Is there a chance Pic Dory is not going to turn up for this race this year?
He worked well this morning. I've just got to talk to Johnny this evening and just chat through things. If they're happy to go, we're happy to go.
Right.
So, yeah, I'd say right. And I've said to Harry he can ride him in the King George because I probably won't have anything too much to run in that. But Saturday, Pic Dory runs. Obviously, you ride Pic Dory.
Well, hold on. That is interesting. So you've said to Harry, if he was offered, and we don't know whether he has. Well, I don't know. You may know, but. I don't know whether he's been offered, but if he's asked to ride Ile France in the King George, he can ride that horse.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have anything to run in that. Pic Dory won't run in the King George. We'll have other options other than that. We've got nothing else entered this year. Won't be anything else, so he could ride him in the King George, but not Saturday if we run.
Yeah, because to be quite frank, if he got off Pic Dory for Ile France, he's not stable jockey anymore, is he?
Yeah, well, don't speculate. That won't happen on Saturday.
Right.
If we run, he rides ours. If we don't run, then he can ride him. Of course he can.
What's the one reason why? He's won the last 2 runnings. It's the obvious race for him. What's the one reason why he wouldn't run on Saturday?
No, actually, none. As I said, we had a chat through with Johnny and Sammy. It's quite quick after having a hard race the other day, but. I'm not that keen on the Peterborough Chase because in 2 weeks' time, because that's probably a bit short for him. So, as long as he was working well and everything's gone right, we were going to run. He worked great this morning. He looks great. I've just got to finalise it with Johnny this evening, but I'd say we're definitely going to run.
Okay, and I thought he was a beautiful run at Weatherby. It was one of those, to be honest. Nothing against the winner. I really wanted him to win it because when he's swinging along like that, he is poetry.
Of course he did, we all did, but it was the first time over 3 miles he had a hard enough race, first time up, but we think he's fine now. And of course he loves Ascot, he loves the ground as it is, so yeah, a lot of positives.
Thanks very much for answering, Paul. I really appreciate it. I won't ask you about any of the others because we've done them to death over the last few days. Thanks, Paul. Bye. Thank you. Okay, well, we've learned a lot there.
Big time.
A lot there. Cobden has been offered the ride on Ile Francais in the King George. There's no other deduction from that conversation. And if he doesn't, so that, Paddy, no, we have all the answers there. That is why no one else is saying whether they're ride Ile Francais as we speak. This conversation happening at 10:30 Wednesday morning. This show won't go out till Wednesday evening. Things might have changed by then, but I don't think it will, judged by what Paul is saying. So it will still be up to date when people listen to this. So the situation is Cobden has been offered the ride on Ile Francais, both for this Saturday and the King George. However, and this is influential because this is frustrating for Cobden. Because if Burke or whoever rides it on Saturday, obviously it's not going to be James Reevely.
Why isn't James Reevely right?
He's not going to ride it, is he?
Why?
Well, because they've already offered it to Cobden.
So they didn't want James?
Well, they've offered it to someone else. If you're James Reevely, you're not number one anymore. Well, you're down the list.
What exactly has he done wrong?
We don't know, but that's not really the debate, is it?
No.
It might not be about doing something wrong. It's simply Cobden has been offered the ride. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's black and white. So Cobden is now number one choice for Ile Francais. However, connections of Ile Francais will not know whether Pictoria is running effectively probably until declaration time tomorrow. So that is Ile Francais. That's why the one or two people I've said is, are you riding Ile Francais? That is why they're not returning the message, because they do not know until Cobden has decided. Bang, sorted. Right. Was there anything more this weekend you're looking for? I'm really lucky. I'm going to be at Ascot on Saturday. I think it's an absolute belting. I think it's miles better than Haydock, I have to say.
You can't say a bet for it.
No, I think it will cut up. I think the Ascot card's magnificent, honestly. They're really good horses there. Wooder is running. The Novice Chase is good. Ile Francais against Pictoria is a right old smash up. Remember, what have you got there, Paddy? 2 freewheeling front runners going head to head. Maybe that's in the back of Nichols's mind. Like, do they want to take on Ile Francais?
I'd say before the week, though, Matt, Pictoria would have probably been unlikely. And then you look at that entries confirming track and you think, hold on a minute. We got to confirm him for this, because you can look through this race and see it cut up quite considerably. Hitman won't run. The jukebox man doesn't run. There's quite a few in here that might not turn up, so you can see their logic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say if Cobden got off to ride Ile Francais, tell you what.
Yeah, we just say BOYLESPORTS have got a new customer offer. Join and bet £10 and get £30 in free bets. You've got some free bets in there as well. So if you do join BOYLESPORTS, you get £10 and 30 quid in free
Can we have a
bets.
look at one of my favourite races?
The Betfair Chase?
Yes!
Who did you win that on?
Imperial Commander twice, Q Card twice, I think.
Do you have a Betfair Chase wing at home?
No, I loved it. I used to love it, man. Driving up that M5, and they had a billboard up near Birmingham would have the last year's Betfair Chase winner on it, and I sometimes used to be me. I'd be goosebumps. I'd be whoever was with me in the passenger side. I'd be saying, "Did you see that?"
Yeah,
brilliant.
We've got a couple of young pretenders in this time around: Hoti Kalur and Handstands, and then we got Grey Dawning, who battled away last year, and of course the horse who just always wins it, Royal Big Guy. Which genuinely, because I genuinely believe what I just said, that the Ascot meeting's different gravy to this.
Okay.
But which of those actually gets you really excited? Like, would make you feel, I can't wait to watch that horse next time it runs?
Well, it's Ascot and Haydock are spoiled for choice, aren't you? The racing is Woodoa, is it? Gordon Elliott runs in
Woodoo,
it.
yeah.
Like,
just answer the question. Which of these horses in the Betfair Chase gets you excited?
Grey Dawning gets everyone excited.
Oh, Skelton.
Yeah, obviously. But
what a surprise.
Hoti Kalors. Look, when you know Haydock, it's a specialist track.
Yeah, Dan. Yeah, Paddy has put at least 6 free adverts into this Unbridled podcast. Yeah.
Matt.
You're 50% on the training fees. Okay, thanks, Dan.
I can only tell you what I think. It's nothing to do with Dan Skelton.
No, it is, isn't it?
Grey Dawning. Look, the ground to me found him out a bit later. Hattie Colours was having...
Who?
Hattie, what's he called?
Hattie Colours?
Yeah. Was having a prep run at Newbury on lovely ride from Sean Bone. Didn't hit him once and won. I'm not sure Haydock might be his track, Matt. I was thinking he would have been better in the Hennessy, which is maybe changed name now.
Coral Gold Cup?
Coral Gold Cup. I thought that kind of stamina...
Should be called the Coral Hennessy.
That kind of stamina might suit him better. What you got to remember with Haydock, especially on good to soft, the rain doesn't look like to be coming this year like it was last year. It's sharp track, Matt. Like, you got to wing around them bends, and it's a lot sharper than you realise, and I think that's the only thing I'd be against him. Lovely horse, and maybe he, like everyone says, he could be a Gold Cup horse. But this is, look, hell of a race, and I'm really looking forward to watching it.
It's interesting what you say about Haydock. There are 2 things that people talk about, actually 3 things. One is the Hennessy, of course. Still call it the Hennessy. It doesn't matter what anyone else calls it. Why Coral did not call it the Coral Hennessy, I have no idea. No one would have thought of booze.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
They would have just thought the Coral Hennessy, and they would have loved the name.
Yeah.
It would have ended all the nonsense that said the Coral Hennessy. It's so easy, but for some reason they didn't have the thought to do that. The other one is the Triumph Hurdle, which people still think is a 30-runner cavalry charge, and you still hear people. In fact, I heard arguably the greatest judge of horse racing on TV right now the other day say the Triumph Hurdle is always won by a horse who needs further. I mean, that was when the Triumph Hurdle was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Triumph Hurdle's a completely different race now. There are things that people just stick in their mind and they can't get it out of their mind. Haydock is not the Haydock where we used to see those Gordon Richards horses jumping round magnificent big fences. Just tell me, for those who don't know, what is the biggest difference between Haydock now and Haydock when you were apprentice? Conditional.
Matt, I wasn't lucky enough to ride it. Are you on about Haydock or Ascot?
Haydock.
What's it? Haydock's a sharper track now, especially on the
So the fences are smaller and the track is smaller.
Portable fences now. When you go back to them days you mentioned, sorry, I thought you were on about Ascot, the fences were like, even Weatherby, they were pretty big, Matt. They were a lot bigger, and everything was happening a bit slower then. As much as you make the fences smaller for health and safety or what have you, then you got to remember horses go quicker. So maybe having them bigger there's a toss of a kind in it for me, but I remember them old fashioned chasers over them massive fences. Yeah, they were it's totally different now, Matt. You're going there's a lot more speed involved in jumping.
Yeah, was it? I'm just checking it as I speak to you. Yeah, do you remember Unguided Missile?
Yeah.
Oh, used to love him around here. Just checking he did win there actually. But yeah, he did. He ran at 8.
Was that too? Why did they change all that? Wasn't it to do with the flat track or something?
I think so. Yeah. And because big fences are a thing of the past, aren't they? Those kind of things.
But they did go much slower then, didn't they? They had to.
Yeah.
Be backing off, and it's different now.
There was that one Rhinus. Do you remember Rhinus always used to go round? There were Gordon Richards and Nicky Richards, hopefully a Nicky that you actually did like. Yeah. Always used to have those great big chasing types. Twin Oaks. Used to run round. Do you remember Twin Oaks?
No.
You must remember Twin Oaks.
I remember Twin Oaks. If I did, I'd say I remembered it.
Okay, who wins the Betfair? Oh, chair just went down. Who wins the Betfair Chase?
I told you who wins it.
I didn't listen.
Grey Dawning, I said.
Okay, so it's just a Skelton thing. I would love Haiti Colour to win. I think Rebecca Curtis...
He definitely has a chance.
Yeah, anything that puts more Rebecca Curtis on the screen is a good thing for me.
Yeah.
And you, I presume. And don't like Rebecca Curtis?
I do. But not busting to look at her on the screen or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? She's a lovely looking girl.
Okay. Sorry, Rebecca. Paddy doesn't want to see you. But I'd love that horse. I was lucky enough. And you do, often TV presenters, one of the most cliche phrases is, I was at the track when so-and-so. I mean, it's just meaningless. So what? Like, who cares if you're at the track? But I was at the track when he was, I think, second at Chepstow. Yeah, that was it. 19th of December 2023. I was there for Sky Sports Racing. And I love the silks of this horse. They're quite cool silks. and I just thought this is a monster in the making. I never ever thought he'd be in a Betfair Chase or anything like that, but I thought this is going to win loads of races, and he's exciting going forward. That's just about it for the first episode, Paddy.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Next week, and I say fingers crossed because I don't want to big this up too much. Hopefully next week we have a really special guest. I just want to mention one other thing before we go though, and I mentioned it with Philip Hobbs earlier. Micheal Nolan.
Yeah, definitely.
Micheal Nolan's not Ryan Moore. He's not Jim Crowley, so he's not getting updates on him every moment. But I like to check on these people who provide our entertainment, and I've been checking on Micheal. He's sent us some pictures, and I'm going to go through them one by one. First of all, the first one is his first really bad injury, which is his arm. Quite a lot of these pictures, if you're watching on YouTube, you won't really understand what's going on, but you'll just see a lot of bits that are in his arm that shouldn't be there. Then he showed me 2019 when he broke his C3. Again, lots of bits that shouldn't be there. 2021, he broke his back, and as you'll see there, screws all over the place. And now he has sent some pictures of 2025. This was the message he sent me. He said, I'm getting on okay. I've got 3 more weeks and a neck brace. The voice has improved, but I'm still not amazing. It's just going to take time. He says, I'm just very, very lucky to be able to walk and move fully again. It was too close for comfort this time. He says, I've got more metalwork in my spine now than a car. And I asked him about riding again, because remember Fitzy had something a bit similar, I guess, and he had to stop riding. He says, they haven't said anything yet as it's early days. I've just got to start rehab in a few weeks. I think this is really important to give him something to aim at. I hope I can get as strong and fit as required to ride. I've been waiting all my career for the horses we have now, which is something Hobbsy touched on earlier. And as soon as we get them, this happens. It's very frustrating. But listen to this at the end. Just imagine you're in this situation. You can hardly speak. Your back and your neck and your spine is completely to be quite frank. And he says, very frustrating, but I'm just thankful I'm not like Graham Lee. And I watched his feature the other day before my fall, so it makes you appreciate how lucky I really am. Great words there from Micheal. I mean, you know him well.
Yeah.
I just want him to know that we do all think about the injured jockeys.
And
like
that's
him.
nice of you, Matt, to be keeping an eye out for someone like him. And it's, you going back to these jockeys' lives, they mentioned Graham Lee there. Tough gig. Last thing I'd like to say to lads, think before you type.
Yeah. Actually, just one more thing from Micheal, and then we're going to close the show. He said 2 things which I think is magic. He said, just so you know, and I didn't know he was going to say this at all, he said, Paddy's wife, Lindsay, was the nurse in the Worcester hospital that day that I got injured, and she was unreal. So good to me. She is top class. And I thought you'd like this at the end.
She is.
He added one more message. He said, best achievement of Paddy's whole life, his career, was making Lindsay say yes to marry him.
Yeah, 100% true.
And I thought that was
no denying that, Matt.
Lovely way to end the show.
Lovely words.
Safer gambling. We mentioned earlier, when the funds stop. It is Safer Gambling Week. Please. We have a bit of a laugh on this show. We'll push the boundaries a little bit. We'll say this is value and that's value. But whenever you're betting, bet within your limits. Don't bet too much. For more information on that, just go to safergamblinguk.org. It's really, really important. Gambling tools, set limits. Don't let gambling muck up your life. Let gambling make your life. Make it interesting. Make it exciting, give you targets to aim at, mathematical plans, make it interesting. Don't make it a dangerous thing to do at all. We're back, Pat.
Good to be back, Matt.
Unbridled, Season 2, Episode 1, done and dusted. I hope you'll join us next week. To Micheal Nolan, we wish you all the best. And to Nico and Nikki, you are just simply irresistible. Tell you what, Pat, we've got merch, caps, scarves, as you can see, and we'll be giving a few out through the series. in limited numbers because we want them to be collector's items pieces. And obviously, if you give away too many, Paddy right now, as you can see, is modelling an unbridled scarf. To get this scarf, the one that Paddy's wearing here, we'll probably sign it as well. We don't want to muck it up too much, but we might sign it if we can. Well, you could sign it anyway. We just want you to say in the comments below, if you're watching on YouTube, in the comments below on YouTube, it's so simple. This you can't really go wrong. One horse you think will win at the Cheltenham Festival in the YouTube comments below. Now I judge this. And if you put Constitution Hill, I suspect you've got a lot more chance than if you don't. I'm only joking, I don't judge it. But I still think you'd be on the right lines there. So yeah, this scarf, modelled by... Have you had Botox? Where have all your lines gone?
Put weight on.
Modelled by Paddy Brennan, can be yours. It's an unbridled scarf as we go merch-tastic.